Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Due to the COVID-19 emergency, tonight's Committee of Adjustment hearing is being held by video conference and live streaming video on the town's live stream webpage at oakville.ca. This is a hearing to consider applications for minor variance and consents held under the authority of the Planning Act. Please keep in mind the intent of this process is to review the application that is before the committee, listen to the evidence, and then make a decision. This process is not intended to be used to resolve any concerns or disputes that may exist between the town, individuals, or organizations. If a request for a deferral is made and the committee grants such a request, the applicant and authorized agent must contact the Secretary-Treasurer to schedule a new hearing date. In order to conduct an effective and efficient electronic hearing, we have adopted the following process. If you are watching the live stream of this hearing on oakville.ca and if you wish to speak to an item on the agenda, please call 905-815-6095. Again, the number is 905-815-6095. The phone number is also posted on the screen below the live stream page at oakville.ca. Staff will be standing by to take your call, and when you call in, staff will ask for your name, item number, and if that you wish to address, and your telephone number. Further instructions will be provided to you to take part in the video conference. When the chair of the committee polls for interested parties, the Secretary-Treasurer will unmute you when it is your time to speak. The applicant or agent will be given an opportunity to speak and explain to the committee the basis of the application, answer any questions that may arise. A maximum of 5 minutes will be provided for a presentation. You will need to state your full name and address for the record, and any submissions beyond the 5 minutes will be at the discretion of the committee. All delegations must state their full name and address for the record. A maximum of 5 minutes will be provided to make a presentation. All remarks and questions are to be directed to the chair. Any submissions beyond the 5 minutes will be at the discretion of the committee. The applicant or agent will then be provided a further 5 minutes to respond to comments made by interested parties and answer any questions from the committee members. If the applicant or agent has any concerns found in staff's report, particularly with any proposed conditions, this is your opportunity to advise us. The matter will then be taken into committee for a decision, and this will mark the end of all discussions. Any person desiring a notice of decision for an application must provide a written request, preferably through email, to the Secretary-Treasurer. Please note that you must make a written request in order for you to be included on the list that is used by the local planning appeal tribunal for giving of any subsequent notice of any appeal. Written notice of the committee's decision will be mailed no later than 10 days for minor variances and 15 days for consent applications to the applicant, agent, or other person who has filed a written request for such a notice. If you do not agree with the committee's decision, you may appeal this to the local planning appeal tribunal. The last date to appeal the decision to the local planning appeal tribunal will be noted on the decision. If no appeal is received within the prescribed time frame, the decision of the committee becomes final and binding, and the Secretary-Treasurer will then notify the applicant and anyone who has received a copy of the decision through written correspondence. People participating in the meeting tonight are asked to be courteous and respectful of the members of the committee, the town staff, and other members participating in the electronic hearing. Tonight's electronic hearing is being video recorded and available for future viewing at oakville.ca. Thank you. We have no regrets this evening. And do I have any declarations of pecuniary interests? I see none, thank you. At this time, Ms. Secretary-Treasurer, do we have anyone standing by to request a deferral?
Madam Chair, no, I don't have anybody standing by to request a deferral.
Very well, and we have no consent application, so we will move on to the first matter in our evening today, and that is CAV 064 of 2020 at 2452 Chaplin Road. People who would like to speak to this matter should call the number 905-815-6095. Again, the number is 905-815-6095. The phone number is posted at the screen of the live stream page at oakville.ca. Staff will be standing by to take your call, and when you do call in, further instructions will be provided to you to join the video conference. Ms. Secretary Treasurer, do we have the agent? I have Stephen Harris here available. Is he online yet?
Yes, he should be, as well as the homeowner.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Hello. Are you on phone call only, or do you have video conferencing?
Video conferencing.
Okay, so if you would like to turn your camera on, because I don't see you. There you are. Very well. Perfect. Good evening.
Hello.
So, have you submitted material for it to be shared on the live screen page?
No.
You have not. Okay. This application is to permit a swimming pool with a setback at 1.5 meters, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So this is your 5 minutes. Go ahead and you can take us through. And if the committee has further questions, we'll ask you at that time.
Basically, it's pretty straightforward. I'm requesting to get 1.5 meter setback opposed to a 3.5 meter setback. Right now, the homeowner, when they walk out their door, their actual backyard, I would say, is the flankage yard, not their backyard. And so that's why, with the design that I've provided, and we're just trying to get a 1.5 meter setback opposed to a 3.5 meter setback.
Very well.
Basically, I've read over the staff report, and I'm supportive of their recommendations. And if there's any other questions, I'm happy to provide any clarification.
Very well, thank you. Members, do you have any items of clarifications or questions of Mr. Harris at this time? Okay, I see none. Ms. McRae, if there's no one who's called in to speak to this matter, we are prepared to take the matter into committee.
Through you, Madam Chair, I've not received any phone calls in.
Very well. Okay, Mr. Harris, if you're satisfied with town staff, which I note they are in support of your application, and you're satisfied with the recommendations that they've put in, we will take the matter into committee at this time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Very well. Who would like to move a motion? Go ahead, Mr. Flemington. Thank you.
Madam Chair, having conducted my site visit and having reviewed the applicant's written submission as well as the town's written staff report, which I do note is in support of the application, I have also taken into account the comments presented this evening by the applicant's agent. Noting that there were no written or oral objections from the public, I am prepared to make a motion in support of the application with the two conditions, following conditions. Just our standard condition, noting that if the building permit has not been applied for within a 2-year period, that the application is null and void. And the other one, just give me a sec as I meander through my screens here. And that the pool be constructed in general accordance with the submitted site plan dated July 14th, 2020.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Flemington. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Okay, very well. The application has been approved with no objections. None opposed. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, the next item on our agenda this evening is CAV 065 of 2020 at 1373 Stanbury Road. Anyone interested in speaking to this matter should call 905-815-6095. Again, the number is 905-815-6095. The number is also posted below the live stream page at oakville.ca. Staff will be standing by to take your call, and when you do call in, further instructions will be provided for you to call back and join the video conference. So we have here an agent. Ms. McRae, I have Soz Tech and Engineering as the agent.
I believe Mr. Atashi, the agent, is online.
Atashi?
Yeah, as well as
Okay.
the homeowner.
Is Mr. Atashi on phone or conference?
Mr. Atashi, you're going to have to unmute yourself.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Atashi?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Are you calling in through a phone line, or do you have video conferencing capability?
It is a video call conference. Yeah.
So okay, so if you do, you can turn your camera on, sir.
Okay.
Very well. Good.
Okay.
Thank you. Have you submitted material for Ms. McRae to post on the screen for us?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I didn't send any presentation. I don't know. Do you mean the presentation?
Yes, I mean
or?
a presentation. We do
No,
have
no,
your plans.
No. I didn't send any presentation, but you should have my drawings.
Oh yes, we do. We have your drawings. It was part of our package. This is for the lot coverage for the proposed pool cabana on the subject property, correct?
Yes, yes, that's it.
Okay, so let me canvass the committee. Members, do you have any questions or items of clarification for Mr. Atashi at this time? Ms. Murray, go ahead.
Yes, just wondering, Mr. Atashi, I've gone through the drawings. Is there any plumbing in this particular cabana?
There is a some pump. There is a pump for the pool, for the future pool. It is attached to this cabana.
Okay, but you have no additional plumbing that would make for a washroom or a sink?
No, there's no any plumbing for the washroom or sink, no.
Okay. Are there any, you're welcome, any further questions or items of clarification? Very well, I see none. Mr. Atashi, just let me canvass to see. We note that there are no comments from neighbors that have been submitted. Let me just canvass to make sure that there's no one who has called in for this application.
Through you, Madam Chair, I've received no phone calls.
Very well, thank you. Mr. Tachi, if you're satisfied and you've shared all the information with the committee that you'd like to share this evening, and if you are satisfied with the conditions that town staff have recommended, we are prepared to take the matter into committee.
Yes, I'm satisfied, yes.
Okay, who would like to move a motion? Ms. Murray, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Having conducted my site visit, reviewed the applicant's written submission, as well as the town's written staff report, which I note that the staff is in support of, having also taken into account the comments, for the clarification by the applicant. Thank you, Mr. Atashi. Noting also as well that there were no written or oral objections by the public at this time. I'm satisfied that the minor variance application meets all 4 tests under the Planning Act, and I'm prepared to make a motion to approve the application for variance subject to the following conditions. And those conditions being that the accessory building be built in general accordance with the submitted site plan and elevation drawing dated May 22nd, 2020, and that the approval expires 2 years from the date of the decision if a building permit has not been issued for the proposed construction.
Very well, thank you, Ms. Murray. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those, I lost my train of thought. I was about to say all those opposed. All those for? Very well. The application has been approved and none opposed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is CAV 066. Mr. Atashi, if you can just leave the meeting, then that way we'll make room for the next applicant. You can just hit the button on the top. Very well, thank you. The next item on our agenda is CAV 066 2020 at 1479 Mansfield Drive. Anyone interested in speaking to this application is asked to call 905-815-6095. Again, the number is 905-815-6095. The phone number is also posted on the screen below the live stream at oakville.ca. Staff will be standing by to take your call, and when you do call in, further instructions will be provided for you to join the video conference. Thank you. Who do we have on standby for application CAV 066 of 2020 at 1479 Mansfield Drive?
I believe he's used the call-in. He's not entering as a panelist, so I don't believe we'll be able to see him. I believe it's the homeowner, Mr. Deman, is online.
Okay, so that's the homeowner. Okay, good evening. Do you hear us, Mr. Deman? Okay. Your application, sir, is for a proposed addition to an existing garage and dwelling. Have you submitted a presentation for you to share with us through town staff?
I have not. I felt my drawings and everything were suitable.
Okay, let me canvass the, so you don't have a presentation. Let me just ask the members of the committee if they have items of clarification or questions with respect to your application. Members, I'm in your hands. Are there any questions? Ms. Murray, go ahead.
Through you, Madam Chair, I do have a question for town staff on the definition of a garage. Is there specific usage when cited or categorized as a garage? Thank you.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Hassan, are you in? Yes, there we are.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair. In terms of the question, the definition in the zoning bylaw of private garage means a portion of a dwelling or a detached accessory building, which would be the case in this situation, or structure accessory to a dwelling designed or primarily used for the parking of private motor vehicles, commercial vehicles, and or recreational vehicles, and includes carports.
Very well.
Thank you.
Mary, does that answer your question?
Thank you. It does, Madam Chair. I have a question for the applicant.
Go ahead then.
Mr. Deman, upon my inspection today, it struck me that the garage was not being used for vehicles, and the bylaw states that a garage is primarily used for vehicles, commercial or otherwise. Can you speak to that, please?
Yes, the garage is currently used for two vehicles, I would say. One is a pickup truck, which is a historic vehicle I've restored recently, and the other one currently is my motorcycle. This coming winter, I would like to add one additional vehicle to the garage to allow two in length. That's why I'm asking for the garage to be allowed to be extended lengthwise, so I can get two vehicles in length. I'll move my motorcycle out of where it currently sits into now what will be the small portion of the garage at the widening. Half of my garage currently is used as a small workshop for myself, so I don't have the ability to park two vehicles side by side.
So can you share with me the primary use of this? Because upon my inspection today, it looked and appeared to be a workshop, and I didn't see any vehicles.
Yeah, no. There's currently a 1965 GMC pickup truck parked in the garage, and my fiance normally parks in the garage as well, but she now has to park on the driveway, generally in front or beside the garage.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions or items of clarification? I see none. Very well. Mr. Deman, if you are satisfied with the conditions that town staff have have recommended, we are ready to take the matter into committee. Ms. McRae, no one has called in for this application, correct?
Through you, Madam Chair, no, we have no further phone calls.
Okay, so then we are ready to take the matter into committee. Who would like to move a motion? Mr. Hardcastle, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Having reviewed the materials, including the written staff report, comments from the property owner, and having undertaken my site visit, I'm satisfied that the requested variances conform to the four tests of the Act. I will therefore put forward a motion of approval that would be subject to two conditions. The first being that the additions be built in general accordance with the submitted site plan and elevation drawings dated May 22nd, 2020, and that the approval expires within 2 years of the date of the decision if a building permit has not been issued.
Very well, thank you, Mr. Hardcastle. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Okay, the application has been approved, none opposed. Thank you, Mr. Deman.
Thank you.
Okay, the last item on our agenda for this evening is CAV 042 of 2020. Deferred from June 30th of 2020 at 191 Chartwell Road. The item to speak, the number to call in order to speak to this application is 905-815-6095. Again, the number is 905-815-6095. The phone number is also posted below the screen of the live stream page at oakville.ca. Staff will be standing by to take your call, and when you do call in, further instructions will be provided for you to join the video conference. Okay. We have Mr. Hicks.
Good evening, Madam Chair.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very good, and hopefully the committee is as well. So thank you for hearing this application tonight. This was a deferral that we originally had, I think, a total of 7 or 8 variances that we were requesting. We went back and made some changes, worked with planning department. We've eliminated 4 of those. Planning's now in support of the application. The neighbor to the south was objecting to the application previously, and he's now supporting it as well. You have a letter of support in your file, I think, from Mr. Balistritis. We are not aware of any other concerns expressed by the neighbors. The 2 that are immediately behind the property have also written letters of support, I believe. And I'm happy to answer questions. I know planning supports the application. I've read their conditions. I'm satisfied with those conditions, but I'd be happy to answer any questions of the committee.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Are there any questions of Mr. Hicks at this time? Okay, I see none. Ms. McRae, we do have letters of support. However, has anyone asked to speak to this application or call while Mr. Hicks was addressing the committee?
Through you, Madam Chair, no, we've received no additional phone calls.
Very well. If there are no questions or items of clarification of Mr. Hicks, and Mr. Hicks is satisfied with the town staff's recommended conditions, then we are ready to take the matter into committee. Who would like to move a motion? Okay, Mr. Flemington, go ahead, sir. Or Mr. Hart, whoever, it doesn't matter. You just have to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Having conducted my site visit and having reviewed the applicant's written submission, as well as noting the town's written staff report is in support of the application And thank you to the applicant and to the agent as far as making the revision. Also taking into account comments presented this evening, and as well as noting that there are no written objections from the public. I am prepared to make the motion that the application be approved and with the following conditions. Sorry. Our standard condition being that if the application, if the building permit has not been received within 2 years from the, if the approval expires 2 years from the date of the decision, if a building permit has not been issued for the proposed construction. And the other one being that the additions being built in general accordance with the submitted site plan and elevation drawings dated May 22nd, 2020.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Flemington. Is there
Sorry.
a discussion on this recommendation?
So, Madam Chair, I believe that's
Yes.
the wrong condition.
Sorry?
I believe that's the wrong condition that was read out. I have the condition.
Okay. I have that the dwelling be built in general accordance with the submitted site plan reference number 6 dated 07/2020 and elevation drawings reference number 6 dated 07/2020.
That is the correct conditions, and that's not the condition that was read out by Member Flemington.
Yeah,
Okay.
my apologies. I was looking at the wrong application there.
Okay, so
So with those two conditions as revised, I'd like to submit the motion to approve.
okay, very well. We have that submitted on record. I've read them on record. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Well, the application has been approved. None opposed.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Take care.
Okay. We have minutes for July the 28th to confirm. Who would like to move those? Ms. Murray, thank you. And then motion to adjourn. Ms. Murray went up first. Motion to adjourn. We are adjourned at 7:28.